Oh, I didn't realize that I had hit live before I adjusted my camera, so I'm sorry. Sorry to all of you for getting, motion sick while I'm adjusting my camera there. Good times, good times. All right. Let's see who's hanging out in Facebook land today. I am going to stamp. Excuse me. I am going to stamp this little girl walking her dog. I'm going to stamp her this way. And somebody's watching. Somebody's hello. Hello, hello. As you pop on, say hello so I can see you, because I cannot see who is here until you actually say something. Sandy Ledoux, who's here? Hello, my Sandy Ledoux. Who? Well, hello, Cheryl. Today, we're going to color a planner stamp. We're going to make it into a card. So, we're going to see if we can get that done in the allotted amount of time. If not, it might be a part 1 and a part 2. Sandy, can you share with people, tag people, all that good stuff? Por favor. All right. So it didn't take a whole lot of time. Well, hello, Miss Lee. How's your knee after PT? Zoom in a little bit there so you can see what I'm coloring as I color it. And we're just going to jump right in. All right. So, E000. This is me walking my imaginary Doberman that I really want. This is probably the only way I will ever get a Doberman. So, yeah. We're going to just pretend that I'm here. So Lee asked a question earlier about coloring large spaces without it being like streaky and having brush strokes and all of that stuff in it. So I'm going to color like a scene around this. The pain of PT. Hey, Carrie. So I'm going to color like a scene around this, Lee, so you can see what that looks like. How to color a large empty area without getting like major streaks in it. You can also watch the elephant video from a couple days, well, from your birthday, a couple days ago, and that is a good indicator of how to color a large open area in a stamp without it being super streaky. A lot of it has to do with your paper. So if you're using Sweet Sentiment paper, you can achieve the non-streakiness with one coat. But if you're not using Sweet Sentiment paper, it often takes a couple of coats, so a few layers of your markers to get rid of that phenomena there. So I'm just going around with my E04 and I'm adding shadows where I think there would be shadows. We just got back from Costco. And I'm so over Costco. Hey, Deanna. Happy Friday. Hey, Misty. Hey, the gang's all here. Yeah, you do have sweet sentiment paper now, don't you? And a lot of it is technique. So, see how I'm using these little brush strokes even in these tiny areas? I'm not doing like just one straight line. That is a huge thing for getting rid of streaks. If you color with little brush strokes, these are a brush tip marker, so kind of use them like a paintbrush and use those little brush strokes to help you soften those transitions between colors. Anyways, Costco. Costco's a thing, you guys. Went to Costco, spent a small fortune, of course. We got pretty much everything that was on our list, though, so that's good. When you start in the store, you're always like, I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to eat all these vegetables and fruit, grabbing, spinach and tomatoes. And then you get around to the bakery and, yeah. Oh my God, there's so many good smells and things. So we managed to get past the bakery without adding to cart. Mainly because I just baked cookies yesterday. So we didn't really, need anything. Like you need anything from the bakery anyways, but still. And then we got around and we were like, I think we just got hungry. Hi, Jackie. And, by the end of Costco, I was like starving and my stomach was growling. And I was like, ooh, grab bread, grab tortillas, grab, different seasonings and different stuff. And it'll be delicious. All of it, all the things. So I wanted all the things. So I'm also, you guys know how much of a fan of ripped jeans I am. So we're going to do some ripped jeans. I'm wearing ripped jeans right now. She has like the super holy jeans. I'm on the road going to see Michael. Oh, Sandy is going to see her nephew. He was just on the news the other day. Poor guy lost his leg to cancer. But man, oh man, that kid is a fighter. And he's just ready for normalcy, to go back to school and, do things that normal teenagers do. All right. So the ripped jeans won't look like ripped jeans until we actually color them into B jeans. So that's what we're going to do now. So you guys are being awfully quiet out there. Again, I'm using small brush strokes so that I can break up that line. Anybody else feel indecent when you color certain spots, like right here? Coloring a private area. I feel so indecent. Hi, Ray. How are you, sweetheart? I always feel indecent when I'm coloring I don't know, somebody's chest or the fly of their jeans or whatever. Maybe I'm just weird. B97. Y'all don't have to pay any attention to me. I'll just be over here in my own little world. Where's Jen? Is Jen on here? Did I run her away? She spent one afternoon in my craft room and I already scared her off. Can you guys see okay? Sorry I've been missing your light. School is kicking your booty, right? Archie isn't that big, sis. Archie wants nothing to do with having a Doberman. Like, so we had my parents' little baby Yorkie here for a week. He was visiting because they were up in northern Idaho. And granted, Bo is only like 4 months old, 5 months old, something like that. So he's a little bit rambunctious. Archie like wanted nothing to do with him. Lee, I have people that send me the link every day because they know I suck. I have my phone alarm set for noon every weekday because Facebook, yes, Facebook notifications suck. Zuck, they suck. That's all I could say. Anyway, so Archie doesn't want another doggy. Archie has decided he is the only dog in this family. And then B91. Oh my gosh, Lee. Well, yeah, but you have other dogs. So Archie won't like that. He will not be okay with your little corgi. It's not gonna happen. Okay, so Lee, I was able to put my Pokemon in a whole bunch of gyms. Well, 4. And then all of them got raids. So now I can't go feed my Pokemon. So I'm afraid they're gonna get kicked out of all of the gyms that I put them in. Just in case you were curious about my Pokemoning today. So I'm gonna pull like a rust color. I'm gonna have it be both her hair and the Doberman. So I'm gonna show you what I do to kind of aid in having the same, using the same color blend. So E59. So I need to take a live class with you, Jamie, like one-on-one. I wish you could escape to the retreat too. It would be so incredibly fun. And the retreat's my birthday. And all the things. Oh my God, the retreat's gonna be so much fun. I keep on getting like little tidbits, like more and more and more about it, and you know, like people confirming and all of that stuff, and I am like so incredibly excited. It's gonna be the most epic 40th birthday ever. 40, so weird. So weird. After 4 hours you maxed for coins, so hopefully they'll stay in that long. I hope they stay in that long. Okay, so my Doberman, usually the bottom part of them is rust and the top part is black. So I'm going to use this for like dark shadows. Here I am coloring the Dobie's bottom, being indecent again. And behind his leg here. And then his face, so like his bottom lip. And then I like to put a little expression on him. Like maybe he sees a squirrel or something. Maybe he sees Clarence. You're turning 50 in June? Yay! Try 55. That was surreal. Okay. If we can't go to Chicago, we'll come up north. Yeah, baby! Yeah! You got to. How about 63? I know a bunch of people keep calling me a baby. They're like, oh, you're such a baby. They say it like the Seinfeld episode. Look at the baby. This is E39. This is where that kind of rust color comes in. You're such a baby. Now that's all stuck in my head. Oh, it's terrible. But apparently I'm on the younger side for being in the craft world. Apparently all of everybody thinks you have to be like at least 70 to be crafty. And I'm like, that's not right. Well, lots of people in the craft world who are so young. Lots of people who are younger than me. So there. So ha. My husband said he's going to start doing yard work, and I'm like, stay away from my craft room window because I'm doing a live video and I can't have you doing no yard work under my craft room video. Right? Moira from Schitt's Creek, that's awesome. What? No. Most of the big crafters are younger than 40s. I keep you... Sandy, you are young. Sandy's 39. She might be 29 by now, but Sandy's the same age as me. We just pretend that, but just go with us on it. And I think Sandy is younger than me because girl can go for days. You know what I really want is one of those chocolate Dobermans. I should be coloring this Doberman to be like one of the chocolate ones. Too late now. It's going to be a traditional Doberman. So if anybody happens to find like a Doberman for me, that'd be great. I'll give you my address. Poor Archie would be so upset though. My Discord's going crazy. You're permanently younger than 40 always. So your birthday, that was the other day, that was your 39th? $39 forever. Or 29 forever. My dad said he was going to be 29 forever. My dad is 83, mind you. He said he was going to be 29 forever, and then he finally said that he was 39, and he was like, because I just don't think I can pass for 29 anymore. And I was like, dude, you're 83. I don't even think you could pass for 39 at this point, but at this point, you've earned it. Jinx! You do not. I think you are younger than me, Sandy. I'm definitely the older out of the two of us. For reals. Oh, I just colored outside the lines. So we're going to get family photos done tonight. Because we haven't had family photos done like literally forever. It's been forever. Evan was 6, 5 or 6 the last time we had family photos done. And then just for good measure to lighten things up a little bit, I'm going to use this E000 because it's sitting here. I would use my colorless blender for this, but the E000 will work just fine on these browns. Just add a little bit of dimension here. Okay. Anyway, so we're gonna go get our family photos done. Hey, Jules. And I'm so excited and also wicked nervous. Because my boys are not photogenic. And they're also not fun. Does that sound terrible? Not that they're like not fun, like, I don't know how to say it, but I want the photographer to do like silly fun shots and like forced perspective and like just shots that are us. And when the camera is present, I am fairly certain that I will not be getting that out of my boys. Does that sound... Sandy, you know my guys. Doesn't that sound about right? Hey, Julie. I hear that there's a certain gathering happening in the South starting today. You are not at said gathering, are you? All right. So I'm just shadowing in the back of this little Dobie. Oh, you're virtual. I see. How's that going? You're watching my live, though. Oh, Julie. Look at this Dobie. It's so cute. I wonder where Lena is. Lena said, color a dog. Color the doggies. And then she's not even here. Marlene, hello. You're here too. Sorry, I'm all concentrating now. I think my W3 is too light. I'm going to go back to my W5. Yeah, that's better. And then, oh my gosh, look at that Dobie. I'm going to use this E33 to soften the transition between the brown and the black. Look at that Dobie. Isn't he cute? And I'm going to color in his nose with the W9. Okay. All right. Marlene is here for the weekend. Yay! I heard someone thought it was a stripper. No way. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what to say to that. It's not that kind of craft party, I guess. Oh, look, I started to color her shoes and then I didn't finish. So I'm going to use W7. Okay. Now, leash and collar. What color for the leash and collar? He's perfect. Leash and color. Oh, yeah, forget it. Lee's gonna want pink, and that's just what we're gonna do. Pink for Lee. Ted, you mean red? Jamie, are you still carrying refills? I don't see them in your site, and maybe I'm not looking in the right part. All of my refills sold out, so that's why you're not seeing them on the site. I'm hopefully getting some more in, and I don't know when, because shipping from Japan is absolutely, I think there is a guy on, that was RV66, by the way, and this is RV17. I think there is a guy on like a canoe that has the crate of my refills, and he is paddling over here from Japan. And I know, hi Archie. Everybody say hi. RV63. So yeah, that's why you don't see them on the site. But yes, I still have them. Yes, I actually do have a couple in stock. So if you're looking for a specific one, yeah, he's totally in slow mode for reals. Slow motion. Maybe I'll color her a pink shirt too, since we're at it. Y21. Nope, I don't have it. I do have I do have a link for Violetta ink, and she has a lot of them in stock. Well, she has all of them in stock. So I do have an affiliate link for them. So if you would like that so that you can go shopping, please shop with my affiliate link because it helps me tremendously. And so if you want that link, I'm more than happy to give it to you. And Elena will take care of you for sure. And she has great prices. All right. Yes, please. But yeah, she has them all in stock. So it's nice to, and she's a small business too. And I also love that. Lee, can you text Jen? Because Jen's texting me right now and tell her that I'm live. Or message her or whatever. And be like, you're missing out, girl. Anyways, she has, Elena from Violetta Ink has really great pricing. Pink shirt, just for Lee. Thanks, girl. Where are your links? Are they in Sweet Sentiment Stamps and Friends? They're not in Stamps and Friends. They're on the website. If you go to the actual sweetsentiment.us and you click on My Favorite Things, they are in there. But I'm not 100% sure my Violetta Ink link is in there. I sound like a Dr. Seuss. It probably is, but I'm not 100% sure if it is or not. So if it's not, let me know. Yeah, she is super nice. If Sandy wasn't driving, I would tell her to get the link because I know she has it. She would just have to scroll way back in our conversations. But Sandy's driving, so I don't want her to be doing that. Sandy, you shouldn't be texting either. Oh, unless Dale's driving. Well, hello, Jen. I was just talking about earlier how I probably scared you off one day in the craft room and boom, done, you're scared off. There you go, Lee. There's a pink shirt. Dale's driving. Okay. All right. So now that we have, oh, I have to color his little tag. And I have a favorite color blend for that. Jen, you just got this color blend. Lost track of time. So this is Y28. It's going to have a little golden tag on it. Y28. Y26. And Y21. Yay! Okay, so there's my little Dobie. Wee, pink. All right. So we are going to draw a little scene around this. So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, or a lot bit, so that you can see kind of the whole card or the whole piece of paper. Try to get this. There we go. Hey, is that a little bit brighter for y'all? Look at that. I said, let there be light. Can't wait till the shop is restocked. It's coming. He's just rowing his little boat over here. So we're gonna draw a little scene, and I see her kind of walking down the street with her new little Dobie puppy, and there's, you know, like woodland background kind of scenario. I don't know. So what I like to do, looks good. I can see. I can see the light. So with E41, this is the marker I like to use to sketch. I am so right-handed, it's not even funny, so I have to turn everything to the right. I'm going to sketch in a little sidewalk. Might even be a little dirt path, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. And this is just going to be a fairly simple scene, because number one, time, and number two, desire. I just really want it to be like a little simple scene. So that's what we're going to do. So here's our sidewalk, our dirt path. I haven't decided on that yet. I don't have to decide on that yet. And then I'm going to draw like, so this is going to be kind of meadow up here. So then I'm going to draw like some little hills. Like that. And then there's probably going to be like some mountains above that. Just going to kind of sketch these in. It's going to be a mountain over here. Okay, something along those lines. That landscape might change some, but we'll see. We'll figure it out. Linda Lou, who you do? Yes, the streaky lines always help me with the bigger areas. Definitely need a Cobra Greenfield, so I'll be waiting. I'm late, but I'm here. It's stuck in a rice paddy for reals. All right, so I'm probably going to add a couple of trees. I want like a big tree here in the foreground. So there's going to be a tree probably here, and then maybe, you know, one over here and something. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start by doing the blue sky behind the background, because that's going to be covered a lot by like where the mountains come down and the tree leaves and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start by pulling some pretty light blues. Let's see if my BG 000, I always forget which one is empty. So we're just going to see. Oh, it's not this one. That's for sure. So I'm going to start with the chisel nib. And I know a lot of people don't use the chisel nib. I like it, especially for big areas like this. So I'm using my lightest blue so I can wet the entire area. Some people will start, I know like Amy Young, she starts with the colorless blender so that the area is all wet. But this will help you so that it's not super streaky. Okay, so there's my blue. And we're gonna start with, oh, let's see, I want something not super bright. I'm picking a couple of colors here. All right, so I'm gonna go with B45. And I'm gonna come in from the sides. I tend to like making my pictures look like a vignette or vignette or whatever it is. I don't know, I'm not French. And when I did ballet, it was exceedingly hard for me. All that French stuff. I was like, yeah, so you want me to spin with my leg up? Got it. I can do that. And I'm going to come in from both sides of the paper, just using soft brush strokes again. Notice they don't all end in the same spot. And I'm ending them off very soft. I'm kind of doing like a swooshing motion, like onto the paper and off the paper. A swooshing motion. I just realized this is lovely English. Absolutely to die for. Ah, the chisel end. B34. Now I'm going to go all the way over that B45 and I'm going to continue this out. So much larger swooshing motions. And I'm not really worried about the mountain tops per se because they're going to be slightly darker. Maybe she's out on like an early morning walk, early evening walk. These are the things we just don't know because we don't know her life. I hate it when it says live broadcast interrupted because then I don't know if I'm still live or not. So hopefully I'm still here. Yeah, I'm super light with this. Super, super light. Soft, light brush strokes. How are you talking on Discord and watching? So my B91, I do some back and forth coloring with it because I know it's nearly out of ink. So I'm really wanting to get this darker. And it'll come together, don't worry. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my B41. And then you see how it's still streaky. I'm going to go back to the chisel nib of my BG. And I'm going to resaturate all of this. Now, I like my sky to be a little bit streaky because I feel like it gives movement to it. So I'm not going to overly saturate this and, you know, go over the top with it kind of, because I like a little bit of that movement. But there you go. So there's our sky. And plus a lot of it's going to be covered. So I'm also not going to, 2 phones and a desktop, phone and tablet. You're multitasking. So now I am going to, okay, perspective. When you're coloring a scene like this, all the darkest comes closest to you and all the lightest is furthest away. Okay, so I'm going to grab some C markers. And I'm going to grab 4, 2, and 0. And I'm going to do this mountain back here. And I'm just adding like some movement to the mountain. Like there's some rock here. It's going to catch the sunlight in different ways. Not everything's connected. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with my C2. Right, exactly. It is so totally counterintuitive. I always sit here and think, okay, I want the lightest stuff closest to me. And then I realize that is 100% wrong. And then once you do it, you can tell it's 100% wrong. Because I've done a couple of them where I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I just did it this way. And then I was like, oh, that's what had happened. So they're not wrong when they tell you that the lightest part is the farthest away. Now you can come back into this with like a jelly roll pen and add like snow to the mountains and all of that kind of stuff. So as these mountains get closer, I'm going to make them slightly darker. So since I used C4 as my shadow color there, I'm going to pull in some different colors of marker. So I'm going to grab my N's and I'm going to use N5, N3, and N1. So N5, N3, and N1. And I'm going to come again down from the peak of this mountain. And I'm just making like scribbly lines. This is not rocket surgery at all. Yes, I know I said rocket surgery. When I taught driver's ed, there was this kid that he was like, my dad always says it's not rocket surgery. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. And he's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, because it's, some people say brain surgery and some people say rocket science as like these two, you know, uber smart areas of expertise. Yes, I put all my videos on YouTube. I've never been artsy and I don't have this basics. Even I'm so seeing that I really need to learn very basic info. I'm right, a rocket surgeon. It's a thing. Lee, I'm not artistic. I used to sit outside the art room and cry. So the art room was icky and it was dirty and it was messy and it was full of people. Ew, people. And it was a place where people went and were like just totally free, you know, they were like, there's no rules kind of thing. And ooh, man, did that ever kill me. So you can ask Lena. I didn't want to put on their smocks because somebody else had worn their artist smock, and I didn't want to wear clothing that was, you know, donated old shirts from some old guy that I didn't know that they used as artist smocks for kids. And like there was so many things wrong with the art room. And so I pretty much like ignored everything that had to do with art. If it wasn't something that I could be like completely precise with, I just didn't do it. So my knowledge of art is not only basic, but non-existent. And the only way that you learn to do this stuff is by doing it. Just start tracing mountains until you see what looks right. Got a bachelor's in fine arts. Did not inherit that from me, right? Ew, people. Right? Our friend is really rocket scientist. He can be utterly daft at times. Right, he can be. So true. So true. All right, so now I'm going to grab more C markers, and I'm going to grab darker ones. So I'm going to go with 6, 4, and 2, probably. Because I want these to be like a little bit darker, but not like, oh my gosh, crazy darker. So again, I'm just going to start scribbling the peaks of the mountains here. These are like Rocky Mountains, right? These are like Colorado style mountains. Oh, Sandy found the link. Oh, you're there? Okay. Tell Michael that everybody in Sweet Sentiment is rooting for him. Super strong kiddo. So, Ree, there's my link. Was it you that was looking for the refill? Now I forget. Now I feel bad on who was looking. Or Cheryl. She does ship to Canada too. FYI. I always forget you're in Canada, Cheryl. Like always. Ooh, I forget this is a juicy marker too. Oh, Lee was looking. Well, no, it wasn't Lee that asked for my my link, though. All right, C2. So see, even though I like scribbled over the tops of these mountains, in using the C markers, since they're a cool base, that blue just goes right into them. And it's just disguised. So I don't have to worry too much about, you know, where my sky ends and my mountings begin. And also, I'm going to come over it at the end with a jelly roll. So I'm not too worried about that either. Okay. And then this one, we're going to make look like it's a lot closer. And actually, I kind of washed this one out a little bit. So I'm going to go in and add. And honestly, I'm going to have trees over these. So a lot of this isn't even going to show anyways. But I like to know it's there. So y'all just simmer down. I went to see Michael yesterday, but he was sleeping. Yes, Linda Luhu. What a strong kiddo. He's got a lot in his future. Oh, adding some snow. Yeah, see, marshmallow fluff and bouncing powder. There you go, girl. All right, so I'm gonna grab some, actually I'm gonna go totally different color. I'm gonna use these W's that are sitting right here, because I can. Yeah, Lee, this is when you get to totally use that marshmallow fluff stuff. It does make cool looking snow, doesn't it? This is W5. Who else is out there? I know there's people out there that are being quiet, not saying anything. I see you lurking. Say hello so I can see who's hanging out. All right, W3. All right, so now we have some mountains. Sorry, so much work to do on a Friday, but I'm here and looking over once in a while. Yay! I'm just hanging out at work with you. It's totally fine. For real, we're good. All right. So I get the feeling that this needs to be like a path maybe and not oh yeah, I love using cool and warm colors on the mountains. Like it totally separates them and makes them pop into different, different kinds of where they're at and stuff. So yeah, I really like using the cool and the warm. So should this be a dirt path or should this be a sidewalk? You guys get to decide. Dirt path or sidewalk? You guys get. I'm going to take a drink of water. Dirt path. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to start with my E43. This is a clay color. It's called Dull Ivory. I like it as the basis for my path. Yes, I'm using the chisel nib again. Just kind of sketching this in. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's a dirt path. Okay, there we go. Looks terrible, doesn't it? Awesome. So that's what we like to see. We don't want it to be perfect because it is dirt. Dirt, dirt, dirt. So I'm going to grab a bunch of random brown colors. Some are darker, some are lighter. I don't want that. I want this. Okay. So I've just grabbed 5 different brown colors, okay? And when I do a dirt path, I like to kind of go back and forth between my colors. I'm not necessarily making like a perfect color blend, like I did with her shirt or anything like that, because it is dirt. So don't necessarily start at the darkest color either. I like to kind of build up and work with my colors, what I'm doing. So I have E34. So I'm going to start kind of around the dog. And I'm going to start building shadows. I have E34 in my hand because it's kind of almost the same color as his rust color. And so as I was coloring, I knew I wasn't going to have to be super careful with it. I have to be more careful around her. And I'm going to leave her shadow down here. Kind of go up behind her. Shadow, doggy shadow. Okay. I'm going to add some over here. I'm going to put in some like dots. Okay. Trust me, we're good. We're going with it, okay? You don't think of shadows until you get reminded. Okay, so E47, this is like my darkest color. So now that I know where my shadows are gonna lay, I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna add some like wispy shadows here. Here's the dog. Here's this leg. Here's where this foot comes down. Here's where this foot comes down. Here's the girl. They're not perfect shadows, whatever. They're just giving you the idea. Totally. Okay. Now I'm also gonna come over here and I'm gonna add some little dots. Maybe there was like, you know, some mud over here. Just some to create interest. Just a couple of random spots. Okay. Now we're gonna start working these out. So I have my E44. So I'm gonna come and I'm gonna add more little dots to this. And you don't have to use these same markers as I am. You can use any like kind of too dark, too mid-tone, too light, and then an overbrush. And I'll show you what that means when I get to it. But any browns are gonna work. And use a variety of browns. So Jen, this is where you use those red bases, those tan bases, the blue bases. You really want to mix these up when you're doing dirt like this, because unless you're like really specific, like, you know, this is a red clay, you know, they're walking in Utah and they're in the specific kind of dirt. I really like to mix the bases of my colors on this. It adds a lot of interest. It doesn't look like it clashes so much. You know, there's lots of different colors in dirt. So now I have E25. This is a very like chocolatey brown. And so just keep adding these around. And with all of your different colors, I've added some, you know, in between the bigger spots that I was creating. Okay. Are you guys still here? Everybody's being like awfully quiet. So now I have my 43. I'm gonna come back in here, be a little bit more liberal with these because these are gonna get washed out a lot. This is that original color that I started with. Okay. And then now I have my E53. And this is my lightest color. And this is, you're about to go take a nap? Wait, am I that boring? So this is that color I was telling you about for the overwash. And so this kind of evens everything out. Not really evens it out, but it like blends things out. And it takes all of those like shadows and everything and just sort of marries them together with that background. So this is what I was talking about, having that overwash color at the end. It's lighter than everything, but it helps you to blend it all. And I might actually even go back to my E41 if I can find it. It's over here somewhere, maybe. Maybe I put it away. I don't think I put it away. It's lost forever now. Oh, here it is. I found it. And add even a lighter layer on top of that. There you go. Dirt path. Complete with shadows. You have to be alert. Your week was busy. Because you spent it over here hanging out with me. When is your Friday night Zoom crafting thing? What time is that at? All right, so now we're going to do the hills. I'm going to add a couple of trees. So I'm going to put the bases down for my hills first before I add the trees. You'll text me when you wake up. Well, happy napping. So I'm going to start with a fairly light green. And we are going to just kind of sketch in some of this, color in some of this. Again, not being super careful, but I need to lay down my background before I color in my trees, because then it'll be impossible to get all this green behind them. And I know my tree trunks are going to be darker than this green, so I'm not too worried about it. Look at how cute. I love this green. G82, Jen. It is like one of my favorite greens ever. And I love doing backgrounds like this because I haven't done anything that none of you can do, right? Like I've literally pretty much just scribbled in this whole background. Nothing has been overly artistic. Nothing has been like you have to have drawing skills or anything like that. And that's sort of what I love about the Copic markers and doing like nature style backgrounds like this. You don't have to have like all of this artistic skill to make it happen. And I'm just not an artistic skill person. So you guys all can scribble. The only difference between you and me is that I've spent many, many, many hours with a Copic marker in my hand doing this stuff. So, like, you can't just hold the Copic marker and expect to be able to do this stuff. You have to actually, like, color with it. But with that being said, really, that's the only difference. Oh, the proof that will be if I can do this background. Seriously, Lee, though, really, I haven't done anything crazy, right? All I've done is scribble. So I'm going to draw a tree. And I'm starting with my E43. Oh, look, I rhymed. Look at me being all special. This isn't going to be like a great big huge tree, but hey, you know, it's going to be a tree nonetheless. I'm going to put a couple branches. Maybe the tree kind of like forks off up here. Just sketch it in until it gets to a place that you like it. Oh, Archie's growling again. Okay, I think that's about good. Maybe one more branch here. All right, tree. There we go. I have people messaging me, so I can't see. Okay, now I'm gonna come in, and I have the sun pretty much shining on this direction for, you know, pretty much everything. So that puts all of my shadows back on this side. So I'm gonna grab E47, which is, these are the same colors I used for the dirt. And I'm gonna shadow the side of the tree, and I'm gonna shadow pretty much everything that would be like on the underside, like away from the sun. And I'm not being super smooth with this. I mean, tree bark is kind of, you know, craggy and not smooth. Oops, that was the top of the tree. See? And I'm not going to worry about like every single branch. I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to kind of go with it. Okay. Oh, I forgot this whole thing right here. All right, there we go. I have to practice loads before I attempt a tree and freck up an entire background. Trees are actually fairly easy. I mean, you see how I'm kind of just sketching it in, just going for it, scribbling. Now I'm going to do E25. Same thing, I'm going to come down the trunk. I mean, you're literally just watching me scribble on this, right? You can see that I'm just kind of, if you see a place that needs a branch added, add the branch. I mean, it's a tree. You can't mess it up. Okay. Now I'm going to come back with my E43, and I have my chisel nib out. It was just kind of a mistake that I opened this in. Fairly easy. I will say that because I was in my own head a lot when I first started coloring, and doing trees was intimidating until I did trees. And then I was like, okay, hey, that's actually not so bad. So you can see I do use my chisel nib a lot, probably a lot more than your average Copic colorist. I really like using my chisel nib, especially for stuff like this. Archie! Neighbor's walking their dog. He's doing his job, you know. And this is also one of the only times you'll see me like leave my marker on the table and not use those soft brush strokes. Because I kind of want this to bleed because I want it to smooth out some. And then I'll go back with my brush nib and kind of make those come off at a point. But honestly, a lot of not being able to color certain things is just because you're in your own head about it. And once you let go a little bit, which I know sounds like really weird coming from me, the queen of not letting go. Once you sort of let go a little bit, you will definitely improve. And the only person that was holding me back was myself. And it's just I was in my head because I'm not an artist and I can't draw and, you know, all those things. And lo and behold, go figure, I can scribble. Making a tree is easy, don't me, so I could find a way. All right, you can find a way. All right, so now we're going to come in and we're going to work on our grass a little bit. I want to leave some of this empty so that I can put a sentiment over here. But we're going to work on our little meadow here. So again, just like I did before, I'm going to start to build up the grass. So this is G24, and it's not a super dark green, but I'm doing this so I can kind of shadow map. I want to map out where my shadows go on these little hills. And then I'll come in with a darker color. So notice I'm changing my brush direction. This pen's gonna leak. I'm changing my brush direction depending on which hill I'm coloring. Just like when you're coloring hair, you want to color uphill. You want to go with the direction of the hill. So it really helps differentiate which hill you're coloring on. Okay? Little shadow down here from the tree. And this is going to be like grass, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And we're going to put some shadow coming out here. Okay, so I have a fairly decent idea of where my shadows are going to be for those mountain or those hills. So I'm going to grab a little bit darker colors. So G46. And Jen's probably laughing at me because I didn't have to pull out my hex chart to figure out which colors I needed. Rolling her eyes at me, I'm sure. I'm sure of it, Jen. And again, I'm making texture on this, so I'm using brush strokes. Okay. Got to get that pretty. Yeah, you really do. The hex chart really is helpful. And I created mini hex charts. So if you show me that you purchased the regular hex chart from Sandy Allnuck, I will give you my PDF of the mini. I just don't want to like hand out the mini and then like have it be a violation of angel policy for her. So, yeah. Okay. You don't have a printer, Lee? What's up with that? Who else is still hanging out here? Who else is with me? I know Jules and Marlene are. All right, this is a brighter green color, so I'm going to go right over the top of that G46. And notice I turn my paper a lot. Make sure you're rotating your paper so that it's comfortable for your wrist. If you're trying to color in some weird direction, like she's going to end up with a green arm. And, you know, I mean, that's all good, but she may or may not appreciate that. But need a printer. Hubby is getting me a new one. My printer died. I can't live without a printer. I can't even be without a printer for like a day. It doesn't work. Try not to give your dog a green butt. But if you do, you can just say that he was, you know, dragging his bum across the grass or something. Because that's what dogs do, right? Or do they just all come inside and use your carpet? I love that sound. Green butt. You're right there with me, weren't you, Julie? Are they not like broadcasting the classes for that retreat? Sorry, I shouldn't be asking. Okay, now I have G14, which is like a, well, it says apple green, but yeah, it reminds me of a Jolly Rancher. And see how this is all just layering, layer on top of layer on top of layer on top of layer. And that's how you get these complex colors. That's how you get those smooth backgrounds. That's how you get so many things with Copic markers, is you just layer it and layer it and layer it. And then when you're done, layer it again. And that is literally the key to Copic markers. And I will show you the back of my paper when we're done, and you will be surprised at how much ink, I throw at these. So you don't have to use a ton of ink to do a background, but I tend to. Because it's just the way I color. And I single coat everything. So a lot of people that are a lot lighter handed than I am will double coat and triple coat, do tons of layers with their markers. I tend to not do that at all. I color everything with a single coat because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not going to color this picture 4 times. Now, pencil coloring, completely different story. But Copic coloring, meh. That won't blend. I'm going to have to just see how you color. You're going to have to show me your streaks and what you're doing. Are you wetting the paper first, like I did? That could be part of your problem. Your marker being dry, that could be another part of your problem. It's not as though we're in like a refill shortage right now. And then I'm going to come back in with my G82 and just kind of do a nice light highlight in the middle of these. Okay. I didn't realize that they stair-stepped up. That's all right. I also kind of messed up right here and colored outside of the line, so I'm just going to make that a little bit smoother. Okay, so there's that. Now we have this white spot right here, and we have this bare empty tree. So I'm going to use the same greens that I already used, and I'm going to put some leaves on this tree. I'm essentially just going to use my marker tip like a stamp, and I'm going to stamp leaves all over my tree. I'm going to change the direction, and don't push really hard on your marker tip, because if you do, you're going to, break your nib, start breaking down your nib, and you don't want to do that. So just use it like a stamp, go nice and light, and then you don't have to worry about drawing leaves. You just get the idea that there are leaves there. And I'm just going to walk through all of those markers that I've already used. I could not figure out what that sound was. Just a second. It was my husband starting the leaf blower. Is that a breakthrough for you? Well, that's good. I'm glad it helps. Yeah, if you wet the paper first, then those paper fibers are already broken down and you have the ability then to work with them. So wetting the paper is a really good technique to use if you are trying to do some streak-free coloring. But making sure that your markers are filled is a huge thing if you're finding streaks in your coloring. And Lee, honestly, that could be what the issue is with yours, because you might be able to color like little tiny spots. But if your marker isn't full, like once you start opening up to color big spots, it's definitely becomes a thing really fast. Okay, one more marker here. See what I mean by like I'm going to cover up the mountains a lot. Okay, so there's that. I'm also going to use, I'm going to start with the lightest color, and I'm going to create some grass along the edge of this path, using the very, very tip of the marker. Oh, it's the leaf blower. Sorry guys if that's loud and you can hear that, but you know, men wait for no one. I'm going to add a couple of tufts of grass here. It will make them darker. You're sitting here with your job. That's how Becky Roberts was when I started doing backgrounds in front of her. And so this is what I say, like, people look at planner stamps and they go, oh, well, what could I do with that? I can only stick it in my planner and I'm not a planner person. Well, false, because you don't have to use this stamp in your planner. I mean, I just made this totally, you know, this is an A2 card. I could have very easily made it a 5.5 by 5.5 card. Very easily. By just adding some more trees and another layer of hills and mountains and, you know, like, there's so much that you can do with these planner stamps that, and, you know, you guys saw yesterday I made all of the mixed media-ish tags, and that is, I mean, again, planner stamps. And so don't shy away from using these planner stamps on stuff, because they really are super adorable. Yeah, slimlines are great. Planner stamps are amazing on slimline cards. They're also awesome for like interactive cards. So like I could put them on a mover, you know, like cut the little channel in that and make it so that they move. So you could pull them across the card and stuff. That would be super duper cute. Wouldn't be overly hard to do either. You just fussy cut them. You know, make this background without them on it. And, gosh, you guys, there's just so many different things that you can do. I could sit here like all day. Tags and bags. If you have little ones, you can make like memory games. You know, decks of cards I've seen people do. I've seen people use planner stamps for like when they lose their game pieces for their games. So like Monopoly and stuff, they use their planner stamps to create, you know, new game pieces and stuff. There's an incredible amount of things that you can do with these smaller size stamps. Decorate your envelopes, of course. that would require you to actually like be willing to mail a card. So I don't know if that's in any of our wheelhouses because we're card makers, not card mailers. I mean, some of us have our stuff together and we mail cards, but you know, not me. I'm not one of those people. I make a million cards. I don't necessarily ever mail a million cards. There you go. Done and done. So, oh no, I need my white gel pen. White gel pen. All right. So with my gel pen, I will first fix her jeans. Because ripped jeans always have the threads that come out of them. Sorry, I just realized I didn't like finish my sentence. Nothing annoys me more. I'm a maker, not a mailer. Sweet Sentiment Monopoly. I'm gonna add some snow, and I like to use my other gel pen for snow, just because it works better. The tip on this one is a little bit thicker, and so for some reason it works better. Look at those snow-capped mountains. Sweet. There we go. Okay. So there's our card. I'll take a little sentiment and I'll stick it right here. I might even stamp it directly onto that hill and emboss it. You know, something like that. Never know. I work hard so my dog can have nice things. Yeah, absolutely. But anyways, I just wanted to take a planner stamp and show you guys, you know, what can be done. And I hope you guys really enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed it. I love coloring, and obviously coloring this little scene goes together pretty fast. So, thank you, Linda Lou. Thank you, Lee. So thank you, Marlene. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rajaki. You guys are so sweet. So, anyways, yes, I will save this video and I will post it up on YouTube so you guys have it. And I will finish this into a card and I'll post the card so you guys can see. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!